She almost didn't go to work that morning. She sat on the edge of her bed, staring at her hands. Hands that had cooked 1,000 meals. Hands that had folded laundry at midnight. Hands that had signed school forms and wiped away tears, her children's and sometimes her own. But that morning, those hands felt useless. Her name was Amara. She was 38 years old, a waitress at a small cafe near the edge of town. Not famous, not rich, not remarkable. At least, that's what she had started to believe. It had started slowly, the way these things always do. Her younger sister had just bought a new house. Her old school friend had posted photos from a vacation in Europe. Her colleague at the cafe had been promoted to shift manager. And Amara was still taking orders, still wearing the same uniform, still counting tips at the end of the night. She had started to feel invisible, not because anyone was cruel to her, not because someone told her she was worthless, but because life had quietly, slowly made her feel like she was standing still while the whole world moved forward without her. That morning, she almost called in sick, almost stayed in bed, almost gave up on another ordinary day. But she didn't. She tied her apron, packed her bag, and walked to work. The cafe was quiet that Tuesday, a slow morning. 2 old men in the corner, sharing a newspaper, a young woman typing on her laptop, the usual smell of coffee and warm bread. Amara moved through her shift like a ghost, polite, efficient, empty inside. Around 10 in the morning, a little girl walked in with her father. She was maybe 6 or 7 years old. Bright eyes, a small backpack shaped like a ladybug. She climbed onto the tall stool at the counter and looked around the cafe like it was the most wonderful place she had ever seen. Her father ordered 2 hot chocolates. Amara brought them over. She placed the cups carefully on the counter and turned to walk away. "Excuse me," said the little girl. Amara turned around. "Yes, sweetheart." The girl pointed at Amara's name tag. "Is your name Amara?" "It is," Amara said, and she smiled. The first real smile of the day. "That's a beautiful name." The girl said seriously, like she had thought about it deeply. "It sounds like a song." Amara didn't know what to say, so she just said, "Thank you." The girl wrapped both hands around her hot chocolate cup and looked up. "Do you like working here?" Her father smiled apologetically. "Sorry." She asked everyone questions. "It's okay," Amara said. She looked at the girl. "Some days I do. Some days are harder." The girl nodded like she completely understood. "My drawing teacher says that too. She says some days the painting doesn't work, but she still paints. Because she says the days that don't work are also part of the picture." Then the girl took a sip of her hot chocolate and looked out the window, completely unbothered, like she had just said the most normal thing in the world. Amara stood there for a moment. Then she walked back behind the counter. Her eyes were wet. She wasn't sure why exactly. She thought about those words for the rest of the day. The days that don't work are also part of the picture. A 7-year-old had said that, not a philosopher, not a motivational speaker. A child with a ladybug backpack, drinking hot chocolate, on a Tuesday morning. Amara thought about her life, really thought about it, not compared to her sister, not compared to her school friends' vacation photos. Just her own life, on its own. She had raised 2 children mostly alone after her husband left. Both of them were healthy, kind, and doing well in school. She had never missed a single rent payment. She had saved enough to buy her mother a small gift every birthday without fail. She had worked at the same cafe for 9 years, and in that time had learned every regular customer's name, their usual order, whether they were having a good week or a bad one. She had done all of this quietly, without applause, without anyone taking a photo of it, and she had still called herself worthless. She realized something that evening. Sitting on that same edge of her bed, she had been measuring herself with the wrong ruler. She had been using other people's lives as the measuring stick for her own. And of course, when you do that, you will always feel short, because someone will always have more. Someone will always seem further ahead. Someone's highlight reel will always make your ordinary Tuesday look like a failure. But that's not how worth works. Worth is not measured in houses or promotions or vacation photos. Worth is not something you earn by impressing people. Worth is not a score. Worth is in how you show up, every single day, even on the days that don't feel like they matter. Amara wasn't invisible. She had just been looking at herself through the wrong eyes. She didn't become someone different after that day. She didn't get a promotion. She didn't move to a bigger home. Her life, on the outside, looked exactly the same, but something shifted inside her, quietly, like a window being open in a room that had been closed too long. She started to notice the small things she did well, the way she remembered that the old man in the corner took his tea without sugar, the way her daughter ran to hug her the moment she got home, the way she had, without even realizing it, built a life that was steady and warm and real. She stopped apologizing for the life she had. She stopped shrinking herself to fit inside someone else's version of success. And on her hardest mornings, she would remember a little girl's voice. The days that don't work are also part of the picture. Here is what that story quietly teaches us. You are not behind. You are not broken. You are not less than anyone else because your life looks different from theirs. Every single person you admire has a version of themselves they are ashamed of. Everyone has days they don't talk about. Nobody's life is as complete as it looks from the outside. Your worth is not in your achievements. It is in your presence, in your effort, in how you keep going even when no one is watching and no one is clapping. You don't need to be perfect to be enough. You already are enough. You just forgot, and that's okay. Most people forget sometimes. The important thing is that you remember. If this story touched your heart, take a moment to like, share, and subscribe. More calm, meaningful stories are waiting for you. For the days when you need a quiet reminder that you are not alone.